costing my boss hundreds of dollars because he won't listen to my ideas. This is just small malicious compliance to save some food. But I think it's pretty interesting, so enjoy. So I work at a gas station as a cashier, usually early mornings on weekends. Our station has a lot of food in store that's packaged like chocolate bars, drinks, etc. But since the prices are so high, most of our stock expires before we can sell it and we have to throw it away. Besides the packaged foods and drinks, we also serve pre-made sandwiches and other pastry which can only be made and sold in one day and needs to be thrown away at the end of the day. Unsurprisingly, prices for those items are even higher, and so they are rarely sold, and we throw away kilograms of food every single evening. I asked my boss if we could just eat it after it needs to be thrown away because it's still good food, but health regulations just say we can't sell them after a couple of hours laying in the fridge. My boss said no because he doesn't trust us to not make food in the evening just for us to eat. I countered with the idea of just putting these items on sale before we throw them out so we don't have to pay half of our hourly wage or more on a sandwich, and customers could save it for a less price. My boss declined again, saying that we can't do that either for some reason. I asked if we could donate everything in the evening to homeless people in the area. My boss said no. Cue my malicious compliance. I've made it my duty to now remove everything from the store as soon as it expires, and even made a list for my colleagues to look up when things expire. No, we didn't do that before. It just lay there on the shelves until someone found it. With that, every shelf has now empty holes without stock. And my boss's office is full with expired stuff because she needs to check every item to make sure none of us is eating it. I've taken my time to add up the amount of food we threw out in just a week. 10 kilograms of fresh sandwiches, 6 kilograms of small packaged snacks, and over 20 bottles of soft drinks, and calculated that over $400 worth of food went to the trash in half a week because we didn't discount them. I've asked a lot of customers about their opinion to implement such a discount to reduce the waste of food, and I just got positive responses. My boss, however, was not happy that I talked about problems with customers and got pretty mad at me. I showed her the numbers I calculated and what we could potentially earn with a discount of 20%. Based on the customers' opinions I got when talking to them, the majority of them would buy more to save food, and with a discount, they'd much rather buy something. My boss was too stunned to speak when I told her that she's losing thousands of dollars a month to the trash can. But since it wasn't his idea, he's rather losing the money than admitting I'm right. In my country, it's standard practice to discount all food 30% the day before it expires and 50% for the day it actually does. The stores still recuperate some of what they've paid for it, and those struggling purposefully search for those items to save on groceries. It's like the most sensible thing to do, and if you're required to sell by what's basically a loss, the owners are incentivized to optimize their orders. I worked in fast food, and the franchise owner would not approve of donating expired hamburger buns to the local shelter because he was afraid of liability if something happened. To be fair, this was in Sioux Happy, California, so I get his hesitation, but the buns were put out by the dumpsters by the manager, who always seemed to pick that time to make a phone call. I never once saw the buns get picked up by the trash trucks. Boss's gender swaps more often than my underwear. It's obvious that this likely wasn't gonna get through, even if it's a good idea and the numbers speak to it. Many people don't like it when you interfere with their work and/or would feel threatened for their position if they see someone would be doing a better job. So, selfish and an ego problem. I feel this is extremely common. You do have a very logical point, however. I caution you not to air the dirty laundry and issues with your job to the public. They don't need to know what goes on behind the scenes, and that can be a very real HR issue in other jobs. Also, your boss is a brick wall and you're not getting anywhere. So unless she is the only member of management, present your ideas to the next level in a professional layout and you'll be amazed at the positivity you'd receive. A teacher I knew worked in a low-income school. The kids told her this. A local small grocery store bought a new trash dumpster and painted the inside and sanitized it daily. He then carefully threw away the food and the local kids would come get it after school. Anything they miss would get picked up by trash. One bin was for food only, the other was other trash not for eating. Here in the UK we have an official attitude against wasting any food at all. All stores reduce the cost of food that's nearly out of date. There are apps to share out food left over even from reduced prices, and stores send out of date items to food banks and community centers and other places where it will be appreciated. It's practically against the law to just toss stuff in the bin. Cafes and restaurants also are a part of this, sending excess edible food to the app. In Croatia, there's a chain sushi place that has price reductions that start at 1830% to 2000 at 50% until closing, because they don't want to throw away food. Also in Croatia, if you want to donate food, you have to pay VAT on it like you sold it. You have a great attitude and a great drive to work and solve problems. Don't put that much effort in for this guy. Just work to rule and hop on the next opportunity that arises. Some managers are just born this way and will not change their ways unless it's a divine intervention or something. Why don't you prepare less food instead? You, my friend, are worth far more than I'm sure that clueless place pays you. A cashier doing accounting work just for personal joy and it's scoffed at. Amazing. Propose it to his boss's boss, or to corporate. Sounds like you're way too logical and intelligent to be working there. You should find another place that values your thinking and creativity. I feel like most stores in America that sell perishable food have this exact same policy. This is the norm. But since OP is using kilograms, they are probably not in America. If this was a gas station chain like Shell or 76 or any other chain, then they most likely make you keep the expired items because they send those items to the manufacturers for a refund. I've worked at Shells and 76s, and you keep anything expired because manager sends it back to the manufacturer and gets dollar credited, so their ordering accounts, so they spend less on those items next time they order them. Writing of food can be cheaper than putting it on discount. Supermarket in Germany, that's what my boss told me. We still sell MRD products. But yeah, I have been to many stores and restaurants that an hour before closing sell remaining food at half price. At one big store we frequent with a huge deli, you can often see people standing around looking at their watches. They are waiting for official discount time. Like you have said you would develop regular buyers once the discounts became known. Currently boss is throwing money away. I have spent years in food service. The main concern is liability. Lawyers get rich off of kind people's goodwill. You're losing your job soon.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.